Have you ever felt like you're constantly giving, constantly drained, leaving nothing left for yourself? Like an open faucet, endlessly pouring out, while your own well runs dry. It's a feeling many of us know intimately, a quiet exhaustion that settles deep in our bones. We live in a world that constantly demands, constantly pulls at our attention, our time, our emotional reserves. From demanding bosses to needy friends, from overwhelming social media to the relentless pace of modern life, the lines between what's ours and what's everyone else's have blurred. And in that blurring, we lose ourselves. We lose our energy, our peace, and ultimately, our well-being. But what if I told you there's a fundamental skill, a profound act of self-preservation that can change everything? A skill that allows you to reclaim your energy, protect your peace, and truly thrive. That skill is setting boundaries. The invisible walls, understanding what boundaries are. Jungian perspective. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychiatrist, understood the profound importance of the individual's inner world. For Jung, the journey of life is the journey of individuation, becoming the unique, whole person you are meant to be. But how can you become whole if your inner space is constantly invaded, if your sense of self is constantly defined by external demands? This is where boundaries come in. Think of boundaries not as walls to keep people out, but as invisible fences that define your property line. They delineate where you end and another begins. They are the psychological and emotional markers that protect your inner sanctuary. Without them, you become a porous vessel, constantly leaking energy, constantly absorbing the projections and expectations of others. Jung would argue that without clear boundaries, your persona, the mask you present to the world, can become so dominant, so intertwined with external validation, that your true self, your authentic core, withers. You become a reflection of what others want you to be, rather than who you truly are. This isn't about being selfish, it's about self-preservation, about creating the necessary container for your soul to flourish. The cost of no boundaries, real-life examples, and empathy. Consider Sarah, a dedicated professional who always said yes. Yes to extra projects, yes to last-minute favors, yes to every social invitation, even when she was exhausted. She believed saying no would make her seem unhelpful, unlikable. But the truth was, her constant yes was leading to a quiet desperation. She was perpetually overwhelmed. Her relationships felt transactional, and her mental health was suffering. She was living a life dictated by others' needs, not her own. Or consider Mark, who constantly found himself in draining conversations with a friend who only ever talked about their problems, never offering an ear in return. Mark felt obligated, trapped, and resentful. He wanted to be a good friend, but he was sacrificing his own peace for someone else's emotional dumping ground. These aren't isolated incidents. They are the silent struggles of countless individuals who haven't learned the art of boundary setting. The cost is immense. Chronic stress, resentment, emotional exhaustion, strained relationships, and a profound disconnect from one's authentic self. It's a slow erosion of your vital energy, leaving you feeling depleted and unfulfilled. The Stoic perspective, controlling what you can control. From a Stoic perspective, the inability to set boundaries is a failure to apply the dichotomy of control. The Stoics, like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, taught us to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. Our thoughts, our judgments, our actions, our responses, these are within our control. The actions, opinions, and emotions of others, these are not. When we fail to set boundaries, we often attempt to control what is outside our sphere of influence, how others perceive us, their reactions, their demands. This is a futile endeavor that leads only to frustration and suffering. A Stoic understands that their inner citadel, their peace of mind, is paramount. They guard it fiercely, not with aggression, but with wisdom. Setting a boundary is an act of self-mastery. It's saying, I control my responses. I control my time. I control my energy. And I choose to protect these resources, not out of selfishness, but out of a commitment to my own well-being and my ability to contribute meaningfully to the world. It's recognizing that you cannot pour from an empty cup and that your primary duty is to yourself, so that you can then genuinely serve others. Recognizing the red flags, your body and mind speak. So how do you know when your boundaries are being violated or when you need to establish new ones? Your body and mind are constantly sending you signals. Pay attention to the subtle cues. That knot in your stomach when you're about to say yes to something you dread, the sudden fatigue that washes over you after a particular interaction, the simmering resentment that builds when your generosity is taken for granted. These are not just random feelings. They are your inner compass, your authentic self, signaling distress. Jung would call this the voice of the unconscious, urging you to integrate a healthier way of being. Ignoring these signals is like ignoring the warning lights on your car dashboard. Eventually, something breaks down. Listen to the whispers before they become screams. Notice when you feel drained, resentful, overwhelmed, or taken advantage of. These are your personal red flags, indicating where a boundary is needed. The art of saying no. Practical strategies for communication. Setting boundaries isn't about being aggressive or confrontational. It's about being clear, concise, and consistent. It's about communicating your limits with respect, both for yourself and for the other person. Here are some practical strategies. First, be direct. Avoid vague language or hinting. No, I can't do that right now is far more effective than I'm not sure I'll see. Second, be brief. You don't owe anyone a lengthy explanation or an apology for your boundaries. No is a complete sentence. Third, be firm and consistent. If you set a boundary, uphold it. Wavering sends mixed signals and invites further violations. Fourth, offer alternatives if appropriate. I can't help with that project this week, but I could look at it next week, or I can't meet for coffee, but I'd love to do a quick call. This shows willingness to engage while still protecting your limits. Remember, you're teaching people how to treat you. Every time you uphold a boundary, you reinforce a healthier dynamic. The fear of rejection and guilt. Overcoming internal obstacles. For many, the biggest obstacle to setting boundaries isn't the other person. It's the fear of rejection, the fear of being seen as selfish, or the overwhelming wave of guilt that follows a firm no. This is where Jungian psychology offers profound insight. Often, our inability to set boundaries stems from an unintegrated shadow, the parts of ourselves we deem unacceptable, like our need for rest, our desire for solitude, or our anger. We project these needs onto others, hoping they will validate them, or we suppress them, fearing disapproval. The guilt you feel when setting a boundary is often a conditioned response, a leftover from childhood where pleasing others was paramount for survival or acceptance. It's crucial to recognize that this guilt is a feeling, not a fact. It doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It means you're breaking an old, unhealthy pattern. Embrace the discomfort. It's a sign of growth. The Stoics would remind us that the opinions of others are external and not within our control. Your peace of mind, your integrity, is far more valuable than temporary approval. The ripple effect, healthier relationships, and authenticity. Paradoxically, setting healthy boundaries doesn't push people away. It draws the right people closer and strengthens existing relationships. When you clearly define your limits, you teach others how to respect you. You model self-respect, and in doing so, You invite others to interact with you on a more authentic level. Relationships built on clear boundaries are stronger, more honest, and more sustainable. You eliminate resentment, foster mutual respect, and create space for genuine connection. You stop being a doormat and start being a partner. This is the path to psychological freedom, to living in alignment with your true self. As Jung would say, it's part of the journey of individuation, becoming who you truly are, not who others expect you to be. It's a courageous act of self-love that ripples outwards, transforming not just your life, but the quality of your interactions with the world. Conclusion and call to action. So, begin today. Start small. Identify one area where your boundaries are weak, one person or situation that consistently drains your energy. Practice saying a gentle, firm no. Observe the discomfort, but also notice the subtle shift in your energy, in your sense of self. Remember, setting boundaries is not selfish. It is essential. It is the foundation of mental well-being, the bedrock of authentic relationships, and the key to reclaiming your energy and your life. Protect your peace. Guard your energy. Reclaim your power. Your well-being depends on it. And when you do, you will find that you have more to give, more to experience, and more to truly live. Subscribe to our channel for more insights on mastering your inner world and thriving in a complex world. Your journey to self-mastery begins now.